Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are here with another episode of the Good Work Show. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, everybody. So
Yeah.
as you can see, I'm still trying to figure out locations.
Location.
Where I'm going to
Mm.
record. I feel like it's if people are watching the video portion and not just listening to us on the podcast, are probably like, where are you now? It's just another angle.
It's another angle. And I got the same angle. I'm gonna keep with this same angle because I feel like the moment I try to do something else, I got a lot of cords that people can't see.
Well-
There's a lot of equipment on here that I'd have to lug to a certain place. And I'm like, no, I'm good.
Well, you're like locked in, but I'm
I'm locked in.
In this new environment that I'm in. I'm still trying to figure out what is, and I just don't feel like backing. And nobody wants to see my blinds every week, so I figured I can mix
We
it
could
up.
see what was outside though. The last time there was
Oh, could you?
the woods was outside. Remember, I was like, oh, there's a lot
That's
of
right.
there's a lot of stuff. There's houses back there.
There's stuff back there, but that only works if it's cloudy, because if it's too bright, then you really can't see out the window.
Yeah.
Though today is the day of the oversized squirrels playing on the patio, which you all can't see, but there was a squirrel that ran by, and I guess it's got its winter weight on. Some of us can
maybe it was pregnant.
relate. It could be. I mean, it's winter. I think squirrels are like, I don't know, do animals put on whatever? But it was a big squirrel.
I don't do squirrels. I don't do squirrels. That's I have a story, and I don't mess with them.
It looked like a chihuahua, like it was a big squirrel. I thought somebody's dog had gotten loose and was on my patio, and then I realized it was
maybe it was a hybrid squirrel.
Squirrels don't bother me that much, except for the black squirrels in DC that have the red eyes. Those are evil, and they're different. And anybody who's ever spent time in the mid-Atlantic can probably tell you the stories, the difference between the brown squirrels and the black squirrels, and they're not the same. They're not the same animal.
I don't mess with squirrels. I don't know why people just, they're a little bit too, And then, Geico had it right. When they said those squirrels just run in the street and then they high five, that's what they do. I mean, it's real. So you just leave the squirrels to their own place. I got my house. Squirrels, you have your house. Let's keep it that way. Don't cross my line. I won't cross your line.
When I was in middle school, I had a friend. She had a pet squirrel.
Nope.
She found one as a baby.
That was your friend? Are you sure it was?
Well, I think so.
Okay. You went over her house and fed the squirrel?
I did go over to her house. She lived down the street from me. I didn't feed the squirrel. They found it like on the patio as a baby, and they nursed it back to health, and then they just kept it in a cage like a hamster.
That is, yeah. All right now.
Yeah. So anyway,
shout out to the squirrel owners out there.
Well, that could be counted as a science experiment, I guess. In a way,
that's an experiment. Yes, because our show today is all about STEAM. So we are going to be talking to the executive director, Dr. Marsha Francis, who is with Steamtruck. And it's been a while since we had Steamtruck on the show.
Yeah, I think it was one singular Steamtruck at the time, and they have grown and expanded. And I think that's exciting about some of the folks that we've been talking to recently, that a lot of these are folks that we did talk to 2 or 3 years ago, and some of these organizations were just starting out. But, a lot of them have had a good amount of expansion since the last time we talked to them. So it's really exciting to see how far they've come. So when we talked to Harvard Diversity Project, they hadn't been to Harvard yet. And now they're just killing it every time they go. So it's going to be exciting to talk to Dr. Francis and see what Steamtruck has been up to since we talked to them. And they had the one truck that was out there going around. So yeah, it should be a fun conversation. And hopefully we can find out some ways that people can participate and help their efforts, because, I think we all know that right now science and technology really matters. So the more people we can, more kids we can.
Well, math matters too. You got just all of it really kind of, Actually,
on.
art, I mean, all matters, but yeah, your math has to be math, and I'm just saying.
The math does need to math. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so cool. So we are going to hear next from Dr. Francis and find out all about Steamtruck.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Good Work Show. We're excited because we are going to be talking about some really cool stuff that, for the most part, I feel like I'm a little green on when it comes to the science part of STEM and STEAM, actually. So we have the executive director of Steamtruck with us, Marsha Francis, Dr. Marsha Francis. So welcome to the show. It's exciting to be with you.
Thank you. I'm excited to talk to you today.
Absolutely. So we have had Steamtruck on before, but it's been a while, and we are inviting some of our faves back to the show to give us a sense of what you're doing now, to catch us up on the mission. And then for those folks who have just not heard of Steamtruck, and I'm not sure how many folks that is, but it's probably a little tiny now because your organization has blown up over the last couple of years. But just for those folks who may not know about Steamtruck and what you do, give us a sense of what your mission is and tell us what you do over there.
Awesome. Thank you. So I've said for years and years and years that Steamtruck is a mobile maker space. So we're a space where people can use tools and different types of technologies. We bring these tools and technologies into schools and community centers and help kids just get their hands dirty, help them use cool tools and technology to solve problems that may be in their communities, or just learn in a different way outside of that textbook. We also work alongside teachers and help them see the value in kids learning in this hands-on, minds-on, project-based type of way. So we're really fired up about our history across the city in Metro Atlanta, and really using this as a way to open doors for kids to take charge of the way they learn and expose them to great opportunities so they can design the lives that they love.
So I have two questions. One I know the answer to, and then, but the other one, and then another one. So the first thing is we talk about STEAM, and I think people are familiar with the term STEM and what that means. So I think we need to break down STEAM and actually what are we talking about, nuts and bolts when we talk about Steamtruck. So it's not powered by like coal and hot water. So what does the STEAM and Steamtruck actually mean?
So that's a great question. So most people are familiar with STEM as in STEM education. So that's science, technology, engineering, and math. And several years back, there was a pivot to STEAM. So it's science, technology, engineering. The A is for arts and math. And the thinking around that is oftentimes with STEAM, that is taught or thought of as really left-brained, really procedural, and not artistic, or not allowing kids to use both sides of their brains. So STEAM is really bringing all of the ways that we learn, all of the ways that we think and interact with information. And so it's more of a holistic way of working with kids, or thinking, learning, teaching. So STEAM is not necessarily the thing that comes off the pot when we're boiling water. It's actually thinking about all of the different ways that kids learn and produce knowledge, and thinking about all of the ways students need to be ready for careers after high school, and integrating those different pieces of knowledge.
Okay, and then my second question, so I knew the answer to that question. So my second question is for you just to tell us a little bit about yourself and your connection with the organization. Because like Elaine said, we talked to you guys many years ago, and I think it was kind of just kicking off, and things were kind of getting going. But tell us about how you connected with the organization and kind of what you do there.
Awesome, thank you. So I am about 100 days in as the new executive director, really excited and honored to serve in this capacity. I jokingly call it, been tangential to the organization almost since inception. I am an educator. I have worked in teacher preparation. So I was supporting student teachers. I was working at Spelman College supporting student teachers in field experience. And one day after supervising field experience students, people learning to be teachers, I walk outside and I see this actual truck that's got windows open and the bed is open and kids are milling about and walking on, and there's tables and tents and kids are doing things. They're doing science, they're thinking, they're creating, they're talking together. And it hit me that this is what I was helping teachers learn how to do, or future teachers learn how to do. And this was the actual vehicle, pun intended, that was bringing these resources into schools to provide those learning opportunities for kids. So since then, I've been a fan of the organization. I think that was back in 2015. And I've worked alongside the organization in a multiple variety of roles, whether it's part-time, doing some consultation work. Before I became the ED, I was working in a consulting role, helping us think about, how do we open this up to teachers? How is it not just another thing on their plate, just another thing for them to do, but really help them see and provide that exposure to this as a way of learning that unlocks kids' engagement in a way that traditional teaching might not, or the traditional training might not. This is really a great way to get kids fully engaged in their learning and have teachers see, oh, when we work in this collaborative way, when we're working around projects, when we're thinking about how to connect the content to what's actually happening in these kids' lives, they wake up a little bit differently. They engage a little differently. And so that's the sauce around Steamtruck. And we do actually use really large tools. We have used band saws with third graders and hammers and nails with kindergartners. And we work with middle schoolers. We've done bike powered blenders where we've put a contraption on a bike and they pedal and they make smoothies. So it's really just bringing learning into a really tangible, exciting, connected way.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how do you do it? So there's a truck, right? And so we know, and you happened upon the truck, you were outside and you saw the truck roll. So if I'm a teacher, it's not like a food truck, right? Like I can't call like, hey, Steamtruck, where are you going to be? I'm going to bring my class there. Or can you? That's a question. And then what happens when the students get to the truck? What's the experience like for them? Do they automatically grab tools and get to work, or is there a curriculum? Like, talk to us about how the process works for Steamtruck.
Sure. So we have, across several years, had a couple different iterations about how programming looks. We have things that are called Spark Days, and they're more so kind of festival style. So if you would imagine a middle school or an elementary school, and kids we literally drive trucks out, set up shops, tables, and tents, bring all of our materials out, and then we work with small groups. We'll maybe split a class apart. And so we have what we call residents, and they're the ones that really work and lead those small groups into activities, the hands-on activities. So we have one resident to 5 students, 4 or 5 students. So they have that small group experience and they're able to really touch, think, talk, do that type of learning. And we do, whether it's a Spark Day, it may be a 20-minute activity, and we have up to 20-day activities. We're leaning much more into that longer term, higher dosage. If a kid gets to spend 20 hours engaging like this, and the teacher sees how the students engage like this, how does that spark something for them to do when we drive away? How do they buy in after seeing 20 hours of kids learning in this way or engaging in this manner? We've had really great successes around kids touching, using our tools, and teachers saying, oh, well, that kid doesn't talk much, but then they light up as they're working with a robot. Or you see them talking to their neighbor as they're using a tool and trying to figure out how to put these different things together. And then the pride that they have when they step back once they've made whatever this project is. So If someone wanted to get in touch with Steamtruck, you literally could call us up or go to the website and look, send out a note. We have conversations. We'll reach back out and just say, hey, what are your needs? What are some things that you're studying right now? A new question that we like asking is, what are some concerns or even problems that your students see in their neighborhood that they'd want to investigate? We're working with the school later on this spring, and we're going to do some work around food insecurity. So how might we develop some programming that speaks to food insecurity or helps kids think about what solutions they might have, whether it's building a garden, creating some type of, retrofitting a fridge to ensure that there's food available. So just different things that allow kids to jump into finding solutions to challenges that they see around their schools and communities.
That's great. So where do you operate?
So because we're mobile, we get to operate all over. We're based out of Decatur. Our warehouse, our headquarters are in Decatur across from your DeKalb Farmers Market. So because we have a fleet of now, I think when you met us, we may have had 1 or 2 vehicles. Mm-hmm. Now I think our fleet is up to 6, including solar trailers and F-150s that we drive out to schools. And interestingly, with Steamtruck, it's not just a truck. It's not just a food truck. The vehicles are actually kind of retrofitted. And so they have 3D printers in them. They have tool kits in them. They have laser cutters in them. And kids are actually learning how to use these different tools and create things that they can walk away with. We're not taking them home. They're actually taking them home. And so that connects to conversations they might be having with their own families. Currently, for spring 22 programming, we have programming coming up in Clayton County schools with different middle schools. We have a couple of schools in APS that we're working with. We've got a request to go down to Rockdale and support an elementary school. So the really exciting thing about Steamtruck is that we are mobile and that we can come to schools and work alongside teachers and help them engage with these different tools and have kids just light up as they're able to control the way they learn.
Well, that's fantastic. So I know that you've expanded over the years, and there's probably so much more that you'd love to be able to do, even double that fleet even further. So how do folks get involved, whether it's if they're volunteer opportunities, or how do they support the work of Steamtruck, just to find out more so that they can amplify this? Because there's kids all over who I know would be jumping at the chance to like use a 3D printer or experience and learn hands-on in some of the ways that you are bringing it to them. So how do we get more of that? How can people support you?
So there's lots of different ways. As our COVID environment is transitioning, we're opening back up volunteer programming. We have some even weekend opportunities that might be available for volunteer opportunities. We are always building our base of Steamtruck supporters, and whether that's $5, $50, $500, or $5,000, we are open to all donations. If you visit our website, www.steamtruck, STEAM, truck.org, that's a great way to get involved with us, to shoot us a quick note to say, hey, I'd either like to volunteer, or I'd like more information about you visiting our school or our community center. That's a great way to dig in. And on the horizon, we hope to develop a platform that shares the materials that we use, whether they're videos, whether they're short lesson plans, or things that you could do at home, maybe with a sibling, an older parent, someone else, but a way to really expand connection with the work that we do so all students can learn in this really cool, innovative, hands-on way.
Nice. All right. Well, awesome. Well, it was great catching up with you, learning all about how Steamtruck has evolved over the years. And we just want to make sure everybody, if you didn't catch the website, it's Steamtruck. Just go online, steamtruck.org. go online, make sure that you check out everything that they're doing. Check out the volunteer opportunities too, because I think it'd be kind of cool. There again, I said science wasn't my thing, but like art, like yes, like sign me up for the art. So those things collide. Even if you're a volunteer, you're thinking, hey, I'm not that great at science. I guarantee you the team over there will find something for you to do and where you can help out. So thank you so much, Dr. Francis. We appreciate you coming on the show. And it's just been great catching up with you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. And I would beg to say that everyone has a little bit of science in them.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? My science might be a little weak. I'm on first grade science.
That's okay. All science matters. It's fine.
That's right.
That is true.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.